Let's be honest, when you see a value for money brand like King's release a high-tech digital compressor, your first thought is probably the same as mine. Do we have an absolute bargain on our hands, or is this a cheap disposable piece of plastic? But I'm sick of my current setup. My trailer is coming this week and I have been absolutely blown away by how good my King's fridge has been. Therefore, I bit the bullet and I decided to buy this King's compressor right here, so I can see for myself if this is going to be the value for the money purchase of the year, or if it's going to be just another cheap compressor. What's up everybody, I'm Eamon and welcome back to Bush Business. Today I'm in the garage to review the new King's Thumper Max digital twin piston compressor. Now I'm very excited to test it because if it does what it should, it's going to fix the biggest issue I have with inflating my tires, and maybe an issue for you as well. The claim on this compressor is that you can set and forget this thing. In other words, you punch in your desired pressure, you hit start and you walk away. The compressor will then pump up your tires and shut off when the set pressure is reached. And if that works, for what this thing costs, it's going to be an absolute must-have item for any off-roader in Australia and overseas if you have access to King's. And if it doesn't, well, I've just wasted my money for your entertainment. Either way, today we're going to find this out. For this review, I'm going to run a proper speed test against my old XTM compressor in the Cruiser. Not just for a single tire, but a proper real-life example. I'm going to check the accuracy of the automatic inflation with my trusty pressure gauge, and I'm also going to see if it's going to work with the Maxtrax Indeflate to see if pumping two tires at the same time is going to make the job faster. But before we get into it, just like all of my previous reviews, this is not a sponsored video. I bought this compressor with my own money in full, so if it's going to be rubbish, I'm going to tell you it's rubbish, and if it's going to be good, I'm going to tell you it's good. It's as simple as that. So if you do appreciate this kind of honest testing and feedback, you can help me out by hitting that like and subscribe buttons. It's going to cost you nothing to do, but it's going to help me grow the channel and tells me to keep making videos like this in the future. I've also dropped links to all the gear I'm using and any relevant videos I'm going to be speaking about in this video in the description below, so that way you can look at the specs or check out those videos after you finish this video right here. Let's get straight to business. The reason I even looked at this compressor is because my current setup is very annoying to use. I have an XTM twin piston compressor mounted in the canopy, and mechanically it's fine, it pumps the air well. But pumping the tires at the moment for me is a huge pain. Like all normal compressors, the gauge on the air hose is useless when the compressor is running. And in all of their wisdom, for some reason, they decided to put the pressure gauge on the tire side of the air hose. So I can't stand beside the compressor, turn it off and then check the tire pressure. I have to constantly walk back and forth to turn the compressor off so I can check the tire pressure, then walk back to turn it on and repeat the process. Yes, you can leave it turned on, but it also means that the timer is ticking for the compressor to overheat, and because I have it plugged into my lithium at the back, it might drain my battery as well. It's a waste of time, and honestly, doing that dance in the rain or snow or heat isn't fun at all, especially when you're kneeling down, getting dirty or wet doing it. This King's compressor caught my eye because it claims to fix that specific annoyance. It has an electronic pressure control valve. In theory, I should be able to set whatever pressure I want in this thing, plug it into my tire, hit the start button and go do something else. Pack up the car, grab a drink, feed the kids, check my Facebook, whatever I want. At least stand in the shade or inside of the car with the aircon running or the heater running. And because it should shut off automatically, it means I don't have to keep an eye on it. It means I can go and do something and come back to it later, even if it means this has already pumped the tires. I don't have to stop what I'm doing to come back and check it. So that's what it promises anyway. Let's see if it actually does it in real life. Setting the compressor up is pretty standard. Alligator clips to the battery while the engine is running, and the interface is simple enough. You turn it on with the power button, you use the plus and minus buttons to set your target pressure, and then you hit the power button again for it to start. It's then going to do this pulsing thing where it stops pumping for a second to check the pressure, and then it's going to keep going. No different to the pump that you find at the service station. And then when it's done, it's just going to stop. It's not going to beep or do anything else. Very, very simple and straightforward to use. Before we do talk about the results, I do want to point something out. I didn't just turn it on for 5 minutes so I can say yes, it works. I tested this compressor extremely hard. I used it during my tire deflator review video, running it cycle after cycle until it got so hot, it shut off again. And then I did the same thing again in this inflation test. So trust me when I say if anyone was going to melt this thing, it would have been me by now. Let's now talk about the results. First, the benchmark. My existing XTM compressor inflated all 4 tires from 15 psi front, 20 psi rear to 45 psi front, 55 psi rear in 11 minutes and 6 seconds. That was with me continuously running it to inflate as fast as I can, where I normally turn it on and off so it doesn't overheat. But as I expected, just as I finished the last tire, the XTM overheated and shut off. Luckily, it actually finished all 4 tires. The King's compressor did the same test in 10 minutes and 16 seconds. For both compressors, the time wasn't just for inflation, it was the whole process start to finish, and that means plugging in the air hoses, walking tire to tire and setting the pressures and checking the pressures. Accuracy for the digital compressor was spot on to 1 psi of the set pressure. And I'm incredibly impressed and very happy with that because I wasn't expecting it to be so accurate. Now you might think that the King's compressor is only about a minute faster than the XTM. But you're wrong, and let me explain why. It actually saves you a lot more time than 1 minute. With the previous method, I had to stand there the whole time doing the inflation, and that's probably no different to any other compressor out there. But with the Kings, all I have to do is change the hose to the next tire and press a button again. Then I can walk away, have my lunch, get a drink, check my Facebook, whatever I want without sitting on the mud and dirt and checking tire pressures. And you can double that time if you're towing and when you're inflating 8 tires. That is 20 minutes saved, not crouching on the side of the road or in the rain. And believe me, 20 minutes feels like an hour when you're crouching beside your tires as they inflate. Next up was the Maxtrax Indeflate test, and it was more so because I was curious to see if it's going to save any time pumping 2 tires at once as opposed to 1. It was all very plug and play and all very straightforward to pump up 2 tires at once. However, the results did surprise me. Using the Maxtrax Indeflate to pump 2 tires at once took 10 minutes and 50 seconds to do all 4 tires. Slower than doing each tire individually and not what you expect from all the hype for that item online. I can also confirm that the Maxtrax Indeflate didn't equalize the tire pressures as advertised, the same issue we had when we did the deflator test. And whilst I'm going to have a dedicated video about the subject, my advice for the Maxtrax Indeflate at the moment is don't bother. It's faster and more accurate not to use it, just use the compressor directly. But back to the compressor and my final thoughts. Is it perfect? To be honest, pretty close to it. It's pretty hard to fault for what it does and what it costs. The unit is solid and worked just as described. And I can't speak on the long-term durability of this thing because I've only owned it for about a month, but I did push this compressor pretty hard and I did overheat it twice. But this only happened after inflating about 16 tires with very little to no rest. And to reset the compressor if it does overheat, all you have to do is disconnect the power and then reconnect it, and then off you go again. So I don't think it's going to overheat when you're inflating 8 tires, whether it's 33s or 35s or smaller. The air hose and all the attachments are very well thought of, and you can really tell that this was designed and tested by proper off-road people, not marketing staff that sit on an office desk. If I was going to scrape the bottom of the barrel for a negative, I'd say that they should have thought of a way to make it mount in the canopy or tray as opposed to just using the crank battery, but that is really looking for excuses to give a negative. So, is it worth the money? For me, absolutely. Like most off-road guys, I've always dreamt of the big ARB twin piston compressor with a tank mounted under the tray and some epic external fittings. But now that I have this and it cost me only $169 on sale on Amazon, why do I need anything else? It does the job pretty well. The convenience of the auto shut-off is something that you don't realize you need until you have it, and I simply can't go back to using the normal compressor again now that I have this. I'm probably going to strip out the old system and try to install this one in the canopy, and I might even make another video about it. So let me know in the comments below if you already have one of these compressors or a similar compressor, and if not, what compressor do you have and what do you think of it? Also, let me know in the comments below if there are any products or tools that you'd like to see me review on this channel and why. Finally, be sure to check out the next video for more off-road and camping trip and review content. Thank you for watching and catch you in the next video.